Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another guide for Conan Exiles. Today folks, I am going to be showing you how to do the Rotbranch boss. And if you guys enjoy this video, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos. And why not check out some of my other videos here on this channel, who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. So, this is obviously a boss, and he spawns in an area. Well, you will need a specific gear. We don't need to build a trap for this because we can use the environment as a trap. And obviously, as always, I will have my thrall with me, and of course she'll help us with this particular task. Now, this is my location. This is where I am on the map, and so this is where we want to be, and I have placed myself there. So the boss, you can come either way you want to get to this point. The boss will spawn there, and I'm going to make my way to this area. This is where we're going to fight the boss. We're going to use long-ranged weapons, primarily, of course, poison arrows or snake arrows. My thrall, of course, she does have snake arrows. Now, there is a bit of a glitch here with the thrall in that it will tend to attack other creatures rather than the boss, but that's good because she has her back covered. This is the path that we're going to take, and she'll attack those creatures, whatever they're called. I keep forgetting their names, even though they are underground. And whilst they're in that position, of course, they will not take damage, and sometimes she will just get stuck on them. But on the flip side of things, she will help me with the other creatures that may cause issues. This is the boss himself. So this is Rotbranch. He decided to have a sleep when nobody's around. He's quite cute. If you ask me, I quite like him. And as with all bosses, when killed, he yields a skeleton key, and his chest is quite close next to him, which of course can be unlocked with the use of the skeleton key and can only be accessed after level 60. This is what the environment looks like, as you can see, and coming here is a bit of a trick, so I'll show you that as well. And that is the chest that you just saw there right next to him. And in front is the cliff that we're going to fight this boss off of. Okay, so as I showed you before, she's got 3 stacks of arrows. She's got a legendary weapon, food, and all that. She is a tier 4 fighter, which I do recommend bringing with you. Obviously, even a tier 3 fighter is pretty decent, and I've seen tier 3 fighters that are stronger than tier 4s, but it depends what you bring. Now, you will want a sandstorm mask, which can be unlocked at level 30, as if you do not have it when you go in, you will take damage from the gas in this area. There is a toxic gas, and it does also stack up to 10 stacks. As I make my way in, remember that there are creatures in the water, so we're going to get rid of those up here before we go any further if they are in our way. But we do want to fight him off of a ledge where we can still see his body so that we can pepper him with arrows. I'm just looking around, making sure that we don't get any of these creatures jumping on us. Oh, there we go. Jeez Louise, that made me jump. So we got 4 of these guys. That's alright. I'm just going to use my heavy attacks on them. And as you can see, some of them are already taking poison damage from the thrall. So this is the way I like to explore the world. I'll have the thrall with me with a bow and preferably snake arrows, and she just does the dot while I do the tanking. It normally tends to keep me out of trouble and results in fewer deaths. Obviously, I am still learning about the game as I'm making these guides, so it just gives me that much more room for error. So we're going to go somewhere around here. There's a path that you saw down there. We want to fight him just where the dot in the middle of the screen is. So we're going to be around here. And we're going to use, obviously, the arrows to kite him and then apply dots to him. And that would, of course, be poison. Just having a look around to make sure nothing bad is there. There is one of those creatures, whatever they're called, stone creatures there that she will aggro on. So I'm going to go and get rid of that. So she's now set to guard once I moved her. So over here I saw something that was not natural to the terrain, which is one of these guys. I want to get rid of him because for some odd reason the thrall will tend to focus on you. So you're not wanted. Gonna go back up there, then obviously start kiting him with the arrows. We don't want to get too close to this guy. He does have quite a few unpleasant, let's call it that, AoE attacks, and fighting this guy at close range is not really desirable. Not from my perspective. I mean, you can try, but yeah, I'm all about taking the easiest solution and the most effective as well. It's not just about ease. So she's just running off to where's she going? So this is one of the things that you can expect. Now the boss is aggroed on me, but she's just done a runner on me. Brilliant. Oh, I see. There's another one of those creatures there, so that's what she's going for. That kind of sucks. I mean, I could leave her there and carry on with the boss myself, but the whole thing is, this thrall was quite a challenge to tame, and I do not fancy losing it. So for that purpose, we're gonna set her up here, and that way we can, or I can keep an eye on her. We don't want the boss going anywhere. So as you can see, sometimes it'll work, oftentimes it might not, but having a thrall with you does actually help, and she still seems to focus on that creature despite the fact that she's well far from it. So it's a bit glitchy with regards to that, but as you can see over there, we've got some more of those creatures, so that will come in handy if we need to deal with it. So I'll take the arrows off of her. She will have her own arrows, of course. Once, as you can see, it just spawned into her inventory. Once you remove all arrows, all she needs is a crossbow. So with that being said and done, that is pretty much up to me to pepper this guy with snake arrows, apply 10 stacks of poison on him, and then just keep the poison on him. So we want to keep them 10 stacks of poison. From this point forth, I am just going to fire an arrow every 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, just to make sure the stack stays on it. As you can see, it's already taken a significant amount of damage just from the poison. I'm not really putting in all that much effort, and I'd probably say maybe 2 stacks of snake arrows should do it, just to be on the safe side, just in case you need it for anything else. Obviously, when you finish with him, you want to harvest him for the key, and obviously whatever else you want to get off of him. It depends what you want to harvest him. I am going to use the meat cleaver, but you can use a metal pick or a hatchet, and they will give different things. I want the items that the meat cleaver gives. So at the moment she's still focused. Oh, what is that dog doing? Okay, I'm just refreshing the stacks on this guy. There's not much more that I can do. These snake arrows don't do that much damage, but do you notice what that creature in the distance is doing? It just looks like something my cat would do, or I've seen dogs do that kind of thing. Look, its back legs. Okay, that's new. I don't know if that's a video or visual glitch or what that is, but I've seen my cat do that when she goes to the litter box, and I've also seen dogs do that on the grass. And so, I mean, this will take a bit of time. It would have worked, or it would have been nice if we could have, of course, had the thrall firing at this guy as well, but do bear in mind, if you do bring a thrall in this direction, you might have to suffer the consequences, and that the thrall might want to do other stuff or have other intentions. Obviously, you don't want your thrall fighting this guy hand to hand. He does deal a lot of damage, and obviously, as you can see, with 10 stacks of poison, it still is taking a decent amount of time for his health to go down, meaning that, of course, he has a tremendous amount of HP. So your thrall fighting this guy is definitely a no-go. I would actually advise him against personally fighting this guy. He does have some AoE attacks, which will be quite difficult to dodge. And I mean, if you want the challenge, that's fine, but I prefer doing it safe and certain. So I do want the key, I do want the loot out of his chest. Okay, so I think my thrall is going to kill that. Okay, it's aggroed it. Brilliant. So I'm quite curious to see what's going to happen after it kills that creature. Also, very important to note, with that being said and done, when I have tried fighting this creature, this boss, the Rotbranch, it does seem to be able to damage the other creatures that spawn in here. So every time we aggro the I forget what those are called, those things that I just killed, and they got close within its AoE range, they did take damage and obviously get killed by it. So that is a method of killing those creatures, although I would definitely not recommend it. So she seems to be firing in his general direction, although I don't know what she's trying to hit. I mean, she's killed that other creature, so I don't know what she's actually firing at. She's trying to hit him in the nose or something. I'm going to try and move him around a bit because he's focused on me. Maybe. Yeah, okay, that works. That's fine by me. Let's just keep this going. Okay, she's missing again. I mean, the thralls are generally good for most of the bosses. This one, for some odd reason, I don't know, has this issue. As long as she's landing an arrow from time to time on him, it does help with that additional damage, and she's not using any of my arrows at this point. That's one good thing about the thralls. Once you put a bow in their inventory, they will pretty much spawn their own arrows per shot. So, very decent thing. Obviously, the quality of the arrows will not be good, but it does help with the additional damage. Also very important to note, as you read the name of the thrall at the beginning of the video, it is a Black Hand Captain, which can be found on the Black Galleon. There are two named thralls that spawn there, to my knowledge, and so they are tameable. That means, of course, it is a fighter thrall, but you can equip them with bows, and they will normally use bows at a long distance. And if they have a bow and a melee weapon, if you get into trouble, primarily they will use the bow and then resort to a melee weapon if whatever they're fighting gets up in their face. It's always good to make sure you have them equipped with both weapons. Obviously, because I take this thrall out exploring, you also want to make sure that they have good gear. So she is wearing heavy armor as well. There we go. It is now down. Time to harvest it. Time to find a safe way down as well. So where... Ah, there we go. There's my pickaxe. Whoop. So this time I'm just going to use the pickaxe, or the pick, the metal pick, to show you guys what you can get. The vines are good. There's hide. There is bone, meat. Obviously, you can get other stuff as well, but that is what it is. I did get the skeleton key there. I will quickly show you where his chest is and what you can get. I don't want any of that meat for the moment. Okay, so let's see what's in the chest. This one is... So it looks like an early mace, but it is, of course, legendary, so I'll take it. I'll add that one to my collection. And so from here, if you use a metal pick, you can also harvest brimstone, a good source of brimstone. The other NPCs are not all that difficult. So this is the weapon I got. I'm still going to stick to mine. I like mine a lot better. It does also provide light, and it was also obtained from one of these loot boxes or chests. So obviously in a bit I'm going to show you how to get the brimstone. This is a good place to farm brimstone by the dozen, and if you've come here to do the boss, might as well go back with a couple of stacks of brimstone. So farming the bases does not seem to work anymore. I did see that in a video, but it does, well, it doesn't do anything. You can also harvest this one where the boss's box was, loot. As you can see, we get some brimstone. Now, if I was here and doing it for real, I would definitely want to get as much brimstone. But of course, that is entirely up to you. That is it for this guide, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and haven't already for more similar content. And if you have just subscribed, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos. Also, why not check out some of my other videos here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment. Until next time, stay safe, folks.